Alright folks, let's talk charcuterie boards. So here we have a nice piece of maple that we're just going to chop into bits, about 16 inches long. These are all just going to be solid pieces. See right there, I didn't have my hand on it, so I wanted to take a little trip. Always be careful around these kinds of power tools. So once we have our pieces cut, we got to make sure they're nice and flat. So this is just running them over the joiner, which essentially has two tables with spinning blades in the middle, and that will chop off a small layer of your board and make it perfectly flat. So the table of the joiner is very flat, so you can tell if your board has any kind of bow or rock or twist in it. And I was just picking which side to face down, which will be my flat reference face. So a lot of people run their stuff through a planer next. I like to get two birds with one stone, and I'll put mine through the drum sander. So this will not only make my two big flat faces parallel, but also it takes the first big bite out of the sanding I have to do later. Once I get it to the thickness that I want, I'll flip it over and just sand the other side one good time. So back to the sliding saw. I'm going to take an edge off to make our board perfectly square. And here you see I spewed dust pretty much everywhere, so I stopped it to lower the dust guard. You do that all the time. Just kind of have it when you get in the flow. But here I have my dimension set, and this is what the final dimension of the board is actually going to be. Nowadays, you always have to save your scrap. Wood's so expensive. They can always be used for other cutting boards and whatnot later. So this is the router table with our roundover bit. We're just going to put a nice edge profile around the whole thing. That way it's nice and soft to the touch. There's no hard, sharp corners to worry about. And we'll even do the inside of that hole that I cut. It's kind of just like a handle hole that you'll see in some different particular types of charcuterie boards. The wrench always likes to take a walk when I turn this thing on. And then everybody's favorite part, sanding. Oh boy, do we love sanding. We love it so much we sped it up 20 times. So when it comes to sanding, especially things with profiles on them, as long as it has a flat face, excuse me, these vacuum clamps work amazing. They let you switch between projects super easy. You can flip the faces over, do both sides very easy. And then you'll see coming up that you can actually turn and rotate these so you can do the edges as well. Here's another style of board that we're doing. You see the sander is such a beast, it just takes all the machine marks out of the board pretty much instantly. So this is one of our thicker boards. You see that sander just works those machine marks right out. This one is maple and Paduke. or paddock, however you want to pronounce it. I'm not here to judge. So see, we turn the clamp sideways, and now we can profile the edges and sand the edges. The end grain here is a beast to sand, so you just have to keep working at it. You sweat sanding more than the rest of the board put together. And then everybody's favorite part, the oil and finishing. This is a little bit post wax. Just looks fantastic, feels great in the hands.